Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have a lengthy statement, and it'll take me a few minutes to give, and I hope you will indulge me. Today, the committee meets on the nomination of Ben Bernanke to serve a second term as chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. Our vote today will not only be an expression of our confidence in his ability to lead the Fed out of the crisis, but also a judgment on his performance in the years preceding the crisis. After the recession that ended in 2001, which was precipitated by a bursting of the dot-com bubble, the Fed was concerned about a sluggish economy and the specter of deflation. Given those concerns, the Fed chose to hold interest rates remarkably low for years. The effective federal funds rate was below 2% between December 2001 and November 2004. During most of that period, now Chairman Bernanke served as a member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve and supported the low interest rate policies. In 2002, then Governor Bernanke expressed concerns about the possibility of deflation and the potential for future financial crisis. His warning was clear. Deflation, he said, basically, is a potential danger which could ignite a financial wildfire. The policy prescriptions seem equally clear. Keep interest rates low, keep liquidity flows high, and lean hard against deflation pressures. However, while keeping interest rates low for a protracted period of time to avoid a deflation-induced crisis, the Fed seemed remarkably unconcerned about the possibility of igniting a different financial crisis by inflating a housing price bubble. According to noted economist Dr. Anna Schwartz, the easy monetary policy environment advocated by Dr. Bernanke represents a sin of commission. As housing prices soared and risk-taking escalated, Wall Street investors pressed on as if a Fed put was insured. The notion was that, in adverse market conditions, the Fed would absorb faltering assets and flood markets with liquidity. Governor Bernanke at that time assured markets that the Fed stood ready to use the discount window and other tools to protect the financial system, an indication that the Fed put was indeed in place. Promoting the existence of a Fed put was, I believe, an invitation for unreasonable risk-taking and moral hazard. In 2004 and 2005, Chairman Bernanke and other members of the Board of Governors spoke of the emergence of a great moderation, a potential permanent reduction in macroeconomic volatility and risk, which they argued were a result of vigilant and adept monetary policy. In retrospect, this misperception left market participants believing that large risk had been mitigated, opening the door for even greater risk-taking. Dr. Schwartz argues that Chairman Bernanke committed a sin of omission by neglecting the growing risk. According to the inflation-adjusted home price index constructed by economist Robert Shiller, home prices rose by an astounding 85% between 1996 and 2006. Chairman Bernanke was a member of the Board of Governors during those last 4 years of that period when home prices then rose 43%. This is a remarkable contrast to a 10% rise in real home prices during the entire period from 1890 to 1996. I'd like to repeat those figures. In the 106-year period beginning 1890, home prices rose only 10% in real terms. With that in mind, I do not believe that there can be any disagreements that housing prices were becoming irrationally high over the following decade. As early as 2005, Yale economist Robert Shiller warned about the outsized gains in home prices. Commenting on what he saw as a bubble in real estate markets, Shiller said, and I'll quote, "Significant further rises in these markets could lead eventually to even worse significant declines. The bad outcome could be that eventual declines could result in a substantial increase in the rate of personal bankruptcies, which could lead to a secondary string of bankruptcies of financial institutions as well. Another long-run consequence could be the decline in consumer and business confidence and another possibly worldwide recession." Think about it. Chairman Bernanke was indeed aware of the growing dangers. However, the Fed ignored the risk identified by Professor Shiller and instead forecasted that the housing market would eventually bounce back from what was viewed as a slowdown and that problems in the subprime market could be contained.